eUnited. They're EU from NA. Boy, do I hate that. But they're going to ban out Susano like a North American team should.
See what you did there. Obviously, Homie FA playing Susano lights out that last game. Same story goes, though, for a lot of these junglers here. Sanford Soccer, too. We haven't seen too much out of him in the SPL action, but whenever he does play ranked, he's always been making a lot of flashy plays, so taking that option away from him.
So Terra and Osiris also going to be banned out. eUnited here with their first selection. Will they go the Hades? Probably not. We're going to see the Bologna come out. Very strong solo laner for EU.
Hades is more of a comfort pick and selection for your mid laner that's more just comfortable for yourself. Not necessarily the best in every team scenario. Like if you're trying to strip away a Hades,
the best.
Some players might not necessarily feel the same way.
Hades the best. I'm kidding a little bit. Hoyi and Geb will be the selections for Team Eager, and Ganesh, bang! Polar Bear Mike just taking it away real quick. United gonna have a strong draft already.
So Wubbin playing the Ganesh in the last set struggled a lot because he was the focus point here out of Monkey Madness, but this is a new set here, so we're gonna see probably Polar Bear Mike with some interesting ideas and mindset, because he's always one of these very creative players, whether or not he's playing a different god or just a different itemization choices, but same thing can be said here about Aurora.
The Vamana, very interesting for Divios because of how standard Vamana is. When I hear Divios, I think kind of oddball stuff. I think Guardians, Vamana, a little bit different. Why do we see him go to the baby?
I think they're going for more of a late game focused build here. Hu Yi, Geb, a lot of safety in team fights specifically. So Vamana, I think that Team Eager is just looking to kind of farm and chill in the early game.
Well, we'll take a look at that one. Cabazats will be the selection for Sam for Soccer. Whereas Medusa comes through for eUnited. I like that selection. You got Soul there with some basic attacks, and Medusa's going to be ability-based as well, so kind of throwing that off. It's not just two straight hunters. I like that one. And then the Thor selection for Verizial. We'll see how it works out in the long run. Guardian, mid lane. That's what needs to be selected, and it will be the Hades. I told you it's going to be the Hades.
Hades making his second appearance again today thus far.
That's the Hades dance.
It's banned away. The Hades dance?
Hades dance. Hades. 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 We got 20 seconds. I'm not going to do that for 20 seconds. But the Hades, I love this pick. It's exciting. I really want to see how it works out in the team fights. Theoretically, though, against the Soul, Medusa, Thor, these are characters that can get out of the ultimate very, very well. So you're going to need to burn the beads by way of Geb, or otherwise, let's get to it. Team Eager versus eUnited right now, starting out, and the best will be playing the Hades.
You were talking about the beads burner between the Geb and the Hades. It was a great idea to last pick this Hades before some of these other picks, trying to really find the right matchup here. Chaos might be struggling a little bit in terms of the clearing department. Verizial on the Thor, Chaos on the Soul. Sanford Soccer 2 here on this Camazotz. Midlane should go the favor of Eager.
You know what's interesting? Chaos or Soul doesn't seem like a Chaos character to me.
I agree.
When we think about Chaos, we think of gods like Agni and Zhonghui and Giannis, and Soul is a very different style. Watch out for Benji with the rotation with the short lane. Verizial starting off hot. eUnited, get it going.
A lot of damage out of this team. Thor benefiting from his passive. You don't necessarily want to be too close to the Thor. That's 15 extra power here per player that is around. He does quite a bit, packs quite a bit of a punch here, and with the rotation from Benji on this Bologna, he's going to have a little bit extra here. Going for Desto and Bumba's Mask on the Bologna, surprisingly.
Yeah, I liked the timing of that as well. So Benji was able to make that rotation late. And it was because he was late that Team Eager took the, I mean, I'll call it bait, but they moved forward because there was only two guys there. A lot of times we see that solo rotation come early, and the players know they have to back off. Benji makes it way late.
And because the mid lane meets a little bit quicker, the minions get there a little faster compared to the side lanes. About 30 seconds for the side lanes. You're looking at about 23 seconds or so in the mid lane or so. And that's the difference that allows these soul laners to make this rotation in the mid lane for that quick gank, and then look to rotate back to the lane, whether they're walking back or whether they spend too much time and use that teleport.
Team Eager make a light invade into the enemy jungle, but eUnited, as they're now called, are able to actually get the real big prize and take their red buff. So Team Eager 4-man split the little minis. That's not the real goal there. They wanted the big guy, but they were scared off by the Ganesh.
not wanting to take that fight. Ganesh does a decent amount of damage as well by himself. His first ability here, the Turn of Fate, does a lot of damage in terms of clearing the wave, and every single enemy he hits, you're giving a damage amplification to yourself and your teammates. 2% per stack.
Oh, Zapman, he's gonna be in trouble. Finds the jump away. The dance away, I guess we'll go for it. Speaking of dance, how much you want to bet that SMITE Pro already clipped our Hades dance?
Of course. Knowing SMK, he's skipped that. It's already tweeted. It's on CNN, Reddit, like everywhere.
I gotta say though, Hades dance is the way to do it. Yeah, man.
It's nothing like my walrus hands though.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, no, nothing is like your walrus hands. Zapman finding some pot shots beforehand as eUnited forced to take their wave right before it hits the tower, so good for them. They'll be able to clean up some gold in addition to the experience, but all told, still just one kill. Nice and early on, eUnited with the flank kill in the mid lane.
Panic at level 5 could look for a play here in the dual lane just off of that alone. Sunder on both of these supports trying to get lane control, but Zam and Aurora respecting the damage potential out of eUnited. Nice little disruption from Aurora as he clears the wave and disrupts the back of Panic at the same time.
Yeah, it's not going to be any skin off Panda's back. He'll just go ahead, head to base, and come right on back. Likely not missing anything, honestly. Thanks to the way he can slither out of base.
Eager have to be so mindful of the Rizzo playing this Thor, the global presence alone. That one little back, quote-unquote, air hashtag backs from Panic Cat could be a bait potential where he's hoping that Aurora and Zaman would stop the back and then Varizio coming from the sky landing down. That's always one strategy that eUnited could take advantage of. And
that's something that, you know, Team Eager are definitely well aware of. They have to see where that comes from. Varizio's Thor, though, is very standard. And if I had to show somebody what Thor does in SMITE, I would go Varizio. I don't think he's the best Thor, but I don't think he's the worst Thor. But I think he just executes this character the way it was meant to be. He's always rotating. He's always in the wrong, quote-unquote, wrong side of the map, the enemy side of the map, making use of that passive, getting surrounded by players, and then ulting virtually on cooldown. Right now, Varizio is saying, okay, we'll farm up the jungle, and we'll look for either an objective or a kill.
Oh, the Gold Fury going to get started now, trying to utilize those Dark Pillars to clear the Gold Fury really quickly. I think it took about 6 seconds total, but having to use Dharmic Pillars and that Supernova for eUnited to get a 4.5-minute Gold Fury.
So the way the Dharmic Pillars work is that the damage takes twice a second. So there is some sort of synergy with stunning somebody in the line or even shake and bake, right? That we saw so many moons ago with the original application of this ultimate when it was on a character called Nuwa many moons ago. But the way it works here is it only takes twice a second, but twice a second's a lot. So the Gold Fury goes down really quickly, and that's going to be one in the eUnited column who, in addition to their first blood, pick up a very quick Gold Fury and already in 5 minutes find themselves up by about 2K.
However, it's not going to stay that much damage throughout the rest of the patches. We're already making changes to it where it's going to be 40% damage to the jungle minions. So Dharmic Pillar's not going to be providing you that same kind of impact, but there's also a lot of other gods in SMITE that give you that same amount of impact in terms of clearing out the Gold Fury. You got your Isis with the Circle of Protection. You got your any mid-mage here that has a lot of burst damage. You got Bastet or any other god that can tank minions for you, whether it's Nuwa, Bakasura, Bastet. And then you also have gods like Anubis that may seem troll or whatnot, but has a lot of burst damage, not only towards gods, but objectives.
You say he seems troll. If you give enough protection to Anubis, he will just wreck the game. Eager picked him 3 times at Worlds, and even in the game that they lost, where they picked Anubis, I have said this many times, I don't think it was about that. Listen, we can't go down that rabbit hole again, don't we?
It's just that Anubis is kind of like the meme of SMITE. He's the Goobus of SMITE, right? You're looking for a meme, well, there's your Goobus.
Goobus? You think it's Goobus?
It's Goobus.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's Goobus. But he just has the application. He's there, he exists! And we do see him from time to time. I like when the alternate regions, when you look at China and Latin America, they'll play him occasionally. The best gets caught up right now, able to heal up some of the initial initiation damage, and he'll just dash away. Hades.
It's Hades right there for you. Using his clear before taking all that poke, so having to retreat under the safety of his own tier 1 tower. eUnited with a pretty comfortable lead thus far, about 2,000 gold, 7 minutes into the game, 3,000 experience as well. Panic Cat getting the slight better end here against Zadman, level 9 to his 8. And going forward now, more invades here out of eUnited, warding very aggressively as the red buff respawns just stripped away just like that.
eUnited made a name for themselves once upon a time in their first iteration as a team that was really about all about the objectives. Well, this game is absolutely playing to their identity, and it's interesting. Skaz gets chased down. Taco touched it on the desk. It's interesting because Pain to Beyond for so long was a banner figure for this team, right? You switch him out for another player, coach-esque player like Polar Bear Mike, and the team identity stays the same. They're looking for team unity instead of individual prowess. They're looking for objectives. I call it red buff as an objective, right? You're looking for those hyper-aggressive objective plays. eUnited are still eUnited despite a change of their lead singer. You can't do that often, but they're doing it here.
Aggro put it best. He's that locker room guy at best, getting surrounded here by 3 members, forced to retreat towards the right.
Vince's going for it. Virizial's up. He wants to continue for it totally. Letting on the best would be a good idea, but this one's better. 2 players get hit, and now Sam for Soccer in the sky looking for the kill out of the Thor. Won't find it. Divios makes the rotation from the short lane, and Virizial from a distance snipes down Sam for Soccer. Benji takes out the best in his ultimate, and it's 3-zip eUnited.
Oh, nice rotation from Zadman trying to catch
That's one.
Benji gets taken out, so that's going to be 2 for 1. Great positioning of the Dharmic Pillars out of Polar Bear Mike, catching Sanford Sarker out of position. Not only that, he also charged at him, catching him at that line, which also set up for a very easy double tap out of Ariziel. Despite having to disengage as a Thor player, you're still able to stay relevant in the team fight. Just throw those hammers, because those things, they chop.
Yeah, if you get those double taps. Ooh, nice little dodge out by Panic Cat. You see how he's able to pull it and leash it when we get around the Zapman's ricochet? That was fun. I like that.
He's out of his cage.
Despite all of his rage. He doesn't even have
But he's not a rat, though.
Ah, totally picking it up. Shouts to the 90s. Either way, at 9 minutes, eUnited are smashing pumpkins and smashing Team Eager. 2,000 gold in the lead, almost 3,000 here, folks. A Gold Fury, an early first blood, and then a nice, clean team fight afterwards. They do wind up trading out a solo later, but that's what you get for being a solo later. Solos and supports, you got to expect to die.
Absolutely. They're the victims. They're the scapegoats. Just got to blame them all.
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent analysis from Anatoly.
I got your circle here, circle there. This guy went over here.
Is that your F-Dot impression?
No, that's my John Bannon impression.
Oh, okay. Sam for Soccer needs some sort of impression. He's going to be able to walk away, maybe a little bit depressed, but he'll continue as eUnited wind up staying aggressive. That wasn't the same, but I'll go for it anyway. 10 minutes on the clock. Fire Giant waking up right about now, which means the Portal Demon also going to be waking up as well. So that's another objective for eUnited to look at right now. Maurizio landing down in the enemy jungle. Zapman in trouble. Panic Cat looking for the ultimate, but here comes the best.
A lot of damage, a lot of AoE. The suns come raining down along with the Pillar of Agony. Best gets traded out with his enemy hunter, Panic Cat, but in the sky, Sanford Soccer, along with Benji,
There's
now
nice.
landing in, forcing the purification beads. It's going to be a wash 1 for 1. Panic Cat went really deep there, wanted to kill Zap so hard there, but Aurora was there for the shield.
Yep.
Best was there to keep Panic Cat in place with the Pillars of Agony, and there was just nothing for Panic Cat to do after that.
But Best does wind up paying for his transgressions there. Usually that Hades ultimate, if you watch strong Hades players, that Hades ultimate usually has to come at the end of a team fight. When it comes to the beginning in that scenario, you know that you're dying. And I don't think that was the wrong play. The Best was just a facilitator there, trading himself out for the hunter. But in the sense that usually that's why you see it later, because everybody's tools are already down. Chaos just ulted him in the brain.
But Panda Cat, he used his dash, he used his Petrified. There was no opportunity for him to escape the Pillars of Agony, and that communication between Team Eager, recognizing that this is why we see the Hades ultimate very early in the team fight. Despite only catching Panda Cat, that's all you really need, because taking away a Hunter from an enemy team, now you're taking away a lot of their DPS, and you can look to really just extend the team fight even further.
I mean, if you take away a different player, that might be Gold Fury, right? So you got to get the Hunter. Hunter and Chaos are the two players that are going to be doing the majority of the damage to the objectives. So if you're not able to really do that, then, well, what was the team fight about? Existential.
Oracle's going in the way of eUnited. 12 minutes into the game. United get the first goal here with a very early one at 4.5 minute mark with that Dharmic Pillars from PBM on this Erlang Shen. They haven't really taken a second attempt here up until maybe right now.
Erlang Shen doesn't even look like Ganesh.
Did I say Erlang Shen?
Yeah, they're not even related in this. Like, I can't even find the connection.
A little bit of a brain fart, but Verizzo diving into the backline, catching San Francisco without his purification beads.
Oh.
Not even able to get in the sky in time.
Oh, man. That was... That's what...
Thor.
You just get Thored. Sometimes you get Thored. The full combo just perfectly executed. Animation cancels out the wazoo. That's how it's done, folks.
Divios in the back line. He's made the teleport happen, waiting very patiently.
Divios. He's just going to wait way too long, actually. Divios is way too quiet. At some point, you got to make the noise. Divios ults after the fact. Was there just no communication there?
It seemed that everyone from Eager was just too far away. Based on where Divios was positioned, he couldn't really see the health bar out of the Gold Fury, it seems, and no one from Eager took that initial step. There needed to be a collapse as a unit, and because that hasn't happened, United walks away with a second Gold Fury very cleanly, now about 4,000 gold in the lead.
Wow, that was a really big play for eUnited. That's a dropped opportunity from Divios. I mean, he can knock them all up, effectively leashing the objective. Ooh, nice play on Benji, but it's not going to be enough to kill. Level 14. Here comes Thor. Double tap executed. Here's the spin to win. Zerga's Barrage will finish it off. Verizio. Nice play by the jungler. This is the... Oh, wow. Verizio. This is old Verizio.
Taking advantage of Divios. His ultimate was down from that Gold Fury exchange. He used his knock-up to stop the bludgeon from Benchies. As a result, he had no way of surviving. Portal even going to get started and absolutely melted here. eUnited cleaning up even more gold with more objectives.
Very well done by eUnited. A big part of this has been a return to form for Verizio, who... I still feel, I keep going back to this one moment, Sanford Soccer in trouble on the right side. Verizio shows up again. Here he is, Bluestone Pendant, making it happen. Verizio in the jungle on Thor. Just a crazy game. 4-0-2. He's been a part of 6 out of 7 kills.
And Zadman's done with these team fights. He's going to commit to split pushing in the duel lane. He's like, all right, you guys are just a little bit too much getting caught out of position here. Now, to be fair, if you're getting ganked by a Thor, are you really getting caught out of position? Not necessarily. You're getting dove between your tier 1 and tier 2, but still securing himself and his team 500 gold in the bank is out.
Really important play here by Panda Cat that I want to point out. Usually when we see Hunters freezing the wave like this, it's because of an experience or gold denial effect. But with the tier 1 tower down and the wave pushed up so far, Panda Cat wants to just look for the last chance and not really wind up killing it itself so that the wave can be pushed up that far, forcing Zatman to be unsafe to get experience.
There's pros and cons to doing that every single time. There's offensive and defensive capabilities. If you're behind, you definitely should be doing that because you're trying to deny it and separate the distance. And separating the distance is Divios, so he's going to be able to dash away. And whether or not you're ahead, you still want to be able to deny all that golden experience. But by doing that, you're dictating the pace of the game, saying that there's going to be no team fights while I'm doing this. Not going to be able to get into the action.
And that allows eUnited to really choose when the game explodes. By keeping the game sort of stuck at a standstill, right? They're able to say, okay, we're going to wait for Verizial's ult to come back up. And then we'll push, and then we'll make a move. But for now, we're just hanging.
And just waiting for Goldfury to respond. 2 more minutes on that objective. Portal Demon was taken earlier on as well, and there's no way Eager is going to be trying to sneak away a Fire Giant, whether or not Panda Cat is sitting in that dual lane. So that would be a smart idea for him to just constantly zone away Zatman here, who's actually have a 1-level lead here over Panda Cat.
And that goes to show that that's just the farming coming out from Zatman. He's avoiding the fights. He's not committing to the fights like Panda Cat is, allowing him individually to get off to a different start. Divios in trouble here, about 75% HP. Ultimate out of the Geb. It's only Polar Bear Mike who drops the pillars in response. Suns come down as well. Best is slowly making his rotation, waiting for all of the opportunities to be spent by eUnited. Verizial up in the back line, Scream, and the ultimate gonna get one. Benji in trouble, landing down as Verizial to save his jungler, and the best gets credit. Well, the best dies. Verizial gets credit, and it's Panda Cat's turn to split push to victory.
eUnited is winning a team fight on the right, 4-on-5. Benji forced to use a defensive Eagles rally away. Panda Cat, he gets a tier 1 in the dual lane. He's now looking to push to tier 2, but it's Sam for Soccer now making the rotation. The question is, can he stop it in time? Looks like not.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, he'll stop the tier 2 count finish,
yeah.
but that's about it. Panda Cat's still going to go ahead and collect tier 1 and the red buff, etc. So eUnited making every situation count here. And again, gotta tip my hat to the jungler, Verizial. There was a point where Panda Cat left the team for a little bit. He took a leave of absence, right? He was coming back, but he just wasn't there for a split or so. And Verizial tried to overplay his hand almost. He knew he had to be the star because Panda Cat was a star at that point, and it changed his playstyle totally. And I think it changed it negatively. Here, this is a return to the original Verizial. And I think that's why we're seeing eUnited partially succeed here.
His old staple Thor pick, whether or not he's building defensively with his former breastplate of Valor selection, is now shifting it to the Shifter Shield that has a little bit of a buff increase in terms of physical power. So it's a great item choice here for a lot of these gods that has a lot of good scaling on their abilities.
It's 70 power.
75, I think.
It's 75 power. It might be 70, but either way, I mean, it's over 70 power, let's put it that way. It's incredible. It's just a large amount of damage coming out. Goldfury half HP. Look at Verizial making the flanker out on the backside. He's got the best in his sights. The stun is good, but only one side of the hammer will hit. Aurora, on the other hand, he's toasted. Chaos making it hurt.
Goldfury being landed on by Verizial after that easy clean pick onto Aurora. No more Geb shields for Eager, and this 5-on-4 fight is going to get started by Benji.
And that one's going to go the way of eUnited again. 8,000 gold in the lead. Now fighting in the Suns and the Darwin Pillars and the Pillar of Agony. The best goes down. Chaos puts double digits up for eUnited. Make that 11. Panda Cat make that 12. It's a baker's dozen as the Hunter gets the double kill. Down goes Sam for Soccer. It's a deicide for eUnited. And with the Goldfury already down, totally, they're heading east.
No one dying from eUnited. Benji walking away with a sliver of health here. Panda Cat's going to start up this Portal Demon, and what a comfortable...
No Portal Demon. They're going for the truck. Get out of here. Fire Giant is the target. The ultimates are down, so if Team Eager shows up, they'll be able to take it. But look at where they are. Literally dead. Geb is just hanging out by his tower, knows that he can't do much of anything. Fire Giant goes down, Portal Demon goes down, all before the 20-minute mark. And as we pass that moment, it's 13-2 here, folks, and an 11,000 gold lead for eUnited.
It was only the support alive to be able to defend that Fire Giant. Smart calculating play here out of eUnited. However, back in the day, supports were actually one of the scariest people to contest any sort of objective whenever Hand of the God used to be able to secure some of these objectives at that 25% kill threshold. But now, all the Geb can really do is CC you with the Cataclysm and then try to find that knockout, which does a decent amount of damage if you could position yourself right at the feet of the Fire Giant.
Yeah, even still, I think he was a little too far away. Even if he like rolled out and everything, I just don't think he was gonna make it.
Yeah, I think the blink was on cooldown as well as I was looking at it, so not really in a great spot to get in position for Aurora. And with that, 5-man Fire Giant squad out of eUnited, 13,000 gold in the lead. Zaman's gonna get dope.
Split push door, split push door. He digs to the sky looking for Zapman. He misses the ultimate. Zapman might get out. Aurora finds another ultimate out of him, but Panic Cat on the backside looking for Zapman. Takes him down. That's number 14 for eUnited.
For Soccer gonna get stunned out. Aegis Amulet being used just to buy a little bit of time, but the Sunder will green him up. Gets the shield from Aurora, but it's not enough. Chaos takes him out as well. A quick surrender out of Eager.
Yeah, just thinking about game number 2 here.